What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised. Well, guys, we have quite some surprising news for you. Netflix's Narnia is going to be a reboot rather than a direct continuation of Disney's last film. So, we have gathered all the available pieces of information and we can't wait to share them with you. Shall we begin? It's been so long till we've had some news regarding Netflix's Narnia. In fact, Netflix will celebrate the 4th anniversary of when the company revealed that it acquired the rights to adapt the new Chronicles of Narnia movies and series. Movies and series, yes. Apparently, the streaming giant won't continue right after Disney stopped with the films, and instead, we'll see a reboot. But why is Netflix so silent about Narnia? Is it because they fear this reboot might disappoint a lot of fans? This is, after all, a year in which Netflix is losing more and more subscribers, and releasing a much-awaited project that turns out to be a flop might make the company to an even bigger downhill. The fact that it's almost been 4 years since the major announcement proves that the streaming giant will try and make this reboot a project that will perhaps save the company. By the way, not a lot of people can say they enjoyed Netflix this year because the company continues with the trend of canceling their favorite TV shows, thus the loss of thousands and thousands of subscribers. This only makes us wonder, is the company struggling with money? After all, Narnia is an expensive project. With all of those special effects and a big cast ensemble, not to mention the enormous expectations we have, the Narnia reboot will cost a lot of money, and although we are sure we'll see the reboot in the future, we're not too sure whether that'll be the near future. Anyways, here's everything we know about Netflix's The Chronicles of Narnia adaptation. Now, it's been too long since we saw the first Narnia film created by Disney, and to be honest, the Narnia films were a millennial thing. So for all those Gen Z fans wondering what The Chronicles of Narnia is, here you go. The Chronicles of Narnia is the book series by the renowned author C.S. Lewis. He published these books in the 1950s. In total, 7 books were published, but we've seen fewer film adaptations. Why is that? Well, for starters, the books are quite difficult to adapt, and although Disney made one successful adaptation, the rest of them didn't enjoy the success of the predecessor. Disney is not the first company to adapt the novels. In fact, there have been multiple adaptations over the years, including a BBC series, a radio series, and the most successful one so far, the Disney movies. The company released its first Narnia film in 2005 when Walt Disney Pictures and Walden Media made a film version of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The second film was also created by Disney, and then the third one came from 20th Century Fox. You'll be surprised that these companies had the 4th movie in mind, but the idea stayed just an idea as it never came to a realization. This only brings us to The Magician's Nephew. First look. As previously mentioned, Netflix announced they're teaming up with the C.S. Lewis Company back in October 2018. According to the company, they have a multi-year deal, thanks to which they'll create multiple films and series projects all based on the books of Narnia. Alongside the original announcement, Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, said, C.S. Lewis's beloved Chronicles of Narnia stories have resonated with generations of readers around the world. Adding, families have fallen in love with characters like Aslan and the entire world of Narnia, and we're thrilled to be their home for years to come. The people behind these projects made sure fans would keep in mind that the company is adapting Narnia into a universe, trying to tell their fans that this will be something like Game of Thrones and The Lord of the Rings. This worried some fans because they strongly believe that Netflix will ruin Narnia, making it more suitable for today's culture. The company also confirmed that Mark Gordon, Douglas Gresham, and Vincent Sieber will serve as executive producers for the series and as producers for the films. Now, here's why Netflix has all the freedom to do whatever they want with the series and the films. For the first time in history, a company has the right to all of the 7 books. This means that Disney only had rights to certain books of the book series, and now that Netflix can do whatever it wants to the books, fans are excited, worried, anxious, and most of all happy that they'll finally see the entire Narnia universe on their screens. We also know that the projects have been given an architect. Well, guys, meet Matthew Aldrich. He is particularly the person responsible for the most projects appearing, as he is the new architect on Narnia universe for Netflix. This was announced on June 12, 2019. Matthew has worked on some pretty successful films, as he's the co-writer for Disney Pixar's Coco, and now he has tons of work with all of those upcoming Narnia series and films. In a tweet, Netflix's See What's Next account wrote the following: Coco co-writer Matthew Aldridge will serve as a creative architect and oversee the development of all the films and shows adapted from the C.S. Lewis beloved universe. They also said that you need to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. Now, seriously, is Matthew working on a reboot? Well, yes. You see, the company isn't planning to continue where Disney left us. They will start over instead and do their own version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This hasn't been officially confirmed, but most reports claim that we'll see a reboot because, after all, the company acquired the rights to all 7 of the books. Back when the big announcement was made, Netflix's chief content officer, Ted Sarandos, made it clear they want to work on something big as a completely new adaptation of the series. He also said that families have fallen in love with characters like Aslan in the entire world of Narnia, and they're super thrilled to be their home for years to come. But the fact that we haven't heard any news lately proves that Netflix will take its time in creating this reboot. C.S. Lewis's own stepson, Douglas Gresham, will also serve as a producer for the reboot and the films, and told William O'Flaherty during the 90 Seconds to Knowing C.S. Lewis that even he hasn't heard anything about the projects lately. "I have not heard a word from them," he said, adding that he is kind of getting worried as to whether anything's ever going to happen. But then he said the best way to tell the story is through a series because with a movie you have an hour, maybe 2-hour maximum if you really stretch it. To put an entire book, an adventure storybook, into the film, you just can't do it. We totally agree. And this brings us to one question: can Netflix avoid the issues of previous adaptations? Well, we believe so. We already mentioned that the second half of the Chronicles of Narnia have never been adapted for the screen, so if it gets adapted now, we'll have nothing to compare it to. But there's certainly a reason why no one adapted the rest of the novel so far. Our only request is, Netflix, please don't try to turn this into another Game of Thrones TV show. That's the only mistake they can make, right? Do you think there's another way for the company to screw the adaptation? Let us know before we get into plot details and spoilers for The Magician's Nephew. Okay, so let's see what the real order of the Narnia books looks like. The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyager of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, The Last Battle. Since Netflix will do a reboot of the novels, they will use the chronological order, not the publication one. This is the chronological order based on a letter Lewis wrote to a young American fan who preferred the chronological order. Set in the 1800s, The Magician's Nephew is the first story in the Chronicles of Narnia series. The story follows the adventures of Polly and Diggory, 2 small children from London. Diggory lives with his Auntie Hetty and Uncle Andrew. Polly and Diggory live next door to each other and, well, they often say that you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. Now seriously, one day the children come upon Uncle Andrew's secret office and, well, the rest is history. See you in the next video.